Welcome to the next clip regarding asking questions within relationships. But before we do that, let me share with you a little story just came to mind. Beautiful, beautiful story for one of my great teachers, and may his soul rest in peace, Stephen Covey, a man that I have, and I still do, admire deeply for his honesty, vulnerability, brilliance, and just a very, very good person. He died just too early, in my opinion. The author of 7 Habits of, I forgot it, the 7 Habits of highly effective people, I think, but I'm not sure. He relates this story in his book, phenomenal story, where he talks about not judging. I don't think he talks about it the way I talk about a puzzle, but he talks about not judging. And he relates this phenomenal story that I truly love, and I'm always reminded on a regular basis of his beautiful story of how he was challenged, and in my terms, because he thought he saw the puzzle, but he never saw the puzzle. And I haven't seen the story for many years, so I might not be accurate with the story, but I'll try my best. And the story that he relates in his book, and I wouldn't know what page, so I guess you're going to have to find it yourself to find the exact story is, he was in New York City. I can't remember where he lived, but he was in New York City on a Sunday quiet morning, and he's sitting and riding the subway, and the doors open up at one of the stations, and a father and I believe 3 boys come marching in. And the father sits down right next to him, and the 3 boys don't sit next to him. They scattered all over the car. And before you know it, you're not sure if they're monkeys or they're humans. One kid starts hanging and jumping, and Stephen is sitting there, and he begins to judge. He writes that in his book, and he sees the father sitting right next to him, and he just doesn't say a word to them. It's not that he tried, he didn't even try. It's so hard to relate the story. Stephen sees one of the children go, knocks over someone else's coffee. He says, "Oh my gosh, this is totally out of hand. This is like ridiculous. I mean, even children have some boundaries." And then he notices another child just ripping out the newspaper from someone else. And now he's starting to be very overwhelmed with what he sees. And in a very respectful way, ready to turn to the father and ask him in a kind way, like, what's going on? Maybe take care of your kids, because the car is just going out of hand. These kids are really totally out of hand. Jumping, climbing, dancing, ripping newspapers out of people, knocking over coffees. What me and you would think that he saw a picture, he did not see a picture. He just saw a few pieces of the puzzle. Can be, rah, rah, rah. Yeah, listen to the rest of the story, you'll see how it could be. As he's trying to formulate his sentence to this father in the most respectful way, the father turns to him and he says the following. And he says, "Do you expect anything better from these kids? They were in the hospital last night, all night up. Their mother just passed away a few hours ago. Now you have the 1,000-piece puzzle. What you were watching was only 10 pieces. And that's why we judge." But that's always to remind me, and I am challenged on a regular basis when I see something and I begin to judge because I think I see the picture. But ladies and gentlemen, Stephen Covey also thought he saw the picture because he was awake. He was in the subway car. He saw the father, or whoever this, maybe not the father, but he saw these 3 kids misbehaving. But once you know the whole picture, it's very different. And perhaps instead of asking the father to take care of these kids, I don't know yet how long the mother was sick. I don't even know what the father went through. The father mentally, maybe he's not capable to even think, let alone look after his 3 kids. His body, you don't need me to explain this to you, his body probably was an absolute shock and disbelief, and still can't even believe that his wife died, and can't believe that these children were up a whole night, and can't believe, and most probably doesn't even know what's going to happen the next hour, the next day. I would be there. I'll just hug those children. and perhaps try to hide my tears. I don't know if to overwhelm them, but my tears would go on their back while their face is on my chest. What we see are only pieces of a puzzle. We almost never see the entire puzzle. Thanks for listening.